You know what? The title of this book, very misleading. You know what I'm saying? Mood with color. I'm not reading this for the mood of color. You know what I'm saying? Very misleading. Like, soft focus flattery. I'm sending this back. Hey guys, it is Cam from Craft and Tailored, and in this episode of What Is On My Wrist, we're talking military watches, we're talking dive watches, we're talking Marine Nationale, French Navy, we're talking about a 1990s Auricoste Spirotechnique. It's a cool watch with some cool history and some cool details. Let's get into the details, shall we? This is a pretty incredible watch. I actually got this watch while in Hong Kong from a collector in Hong Kong. I was at the Hong Kong International Watch and Jewelry Show. It's a very interesting show. If you haven't been and you find yourself in Hong Kong and COVID isn't around and we can freely just like walk around and meet with awesome people again, it's a really cool show. I think it's like a 5-day show and it is massive, and people come from all over the world, and it's held in the Hong Kong Convention Center, and it's really cool. And I was like strolling along as I normally do, and I kind of did a double take, and I'm like, that's an Auricoste Spirotechnique. I wonder if that's one that was issued, and sure enough, it was. Kind of a fun story because this watch has been with me now for a little bit. It's a military diver. What's not to like about it? It's awesome. Spirotechnique was a well-respected name within the diving community, and the company was actually founded in 1947 to develop and distribute the aqualung regulator that was developed by Jacques Cousteau. Many brands offered watches with the Spirotechnique logo, including, you know, Hoyer and Zodiac and all kinds of different watches. So the Spirotechnique logo, which is this little diver here, was basically like a co-branded watch similar to like Doxa watches with the Aqualung logo and stuff on them. What's interesting is Auricoste has been producing watches for the French Navy since 1854. What's really cool is that if you pull back the layers of the onion around Auricoste, matter of fact, their website, which I'll provide a link in the description below or above, gives you a pretty detailed history about Auricoste and the need and requirement of timekeeping for the French Navy, whether it be aviation or you know, diving in this case, or and timing other things. The military and the need for accurate timekeeping and time recording has always been a necessity, even to this day. But Auricoste is kind of the, I guess, traditional French watchmaker that provided timekeeping devices to the French Navy, and they've got a really interesting history. So this watch provides a bit of a low-key military dive watch flex, and I think is one of the more, I would say, accessible Marine Nationale divers. Matter of fact, there's a really awesome book that Watch History put out that's basically just titled Marine Nationale. And I believe you can get this off of his Instagram or his website, but it's a book that I have definitely done a deep dive into. He's definitely done a great job of tracking down, you know, French military issued watches. And here's an Auricoste here that was military issued. This is basically a pocket watch, but the Auricoste history goes back deep. And this is a great book if you are interested in Marine Nationale, in more specifically French military issued watches altogether. But he actually does do a really good job of highlighting the Auricoste Spirotechnique. I'm not sure if you can get this, Nick, but really interesting and really good review on the Auricoste watches in this, which is really cool. Here's a serial number on this one. This is 9437th item issued. I think this one is actually 95. So this is a year later, but super, super cool watch with an interesting case and an equally as dependable and reliable movement. Reference number actually for the watch is 906.21.05. The dimensions of the watch are 40 by 12, so it's basically like your Submariner, but it's definitely a little bit thicker. Mineral glass crystal, unidirectional, not bidirectional bezel. In typical military watch fashion, we've got a fully gradiated bezel, which is kind of cool. This is like a flat anodized aluminum. And then the other thing that's unique and kind of cool about this is that they leverage more of a squale style case with the crown offset at the 4 o'clock position instead of at the 3, which makes it a little bit more ergonomical when it's, you know, on the wrist. Kind of a stereotypical Submariner style layout. It's a depth rating of 200 meters, so basically similar to your 5513. Kind of interesting though that it has a depth rating of only 200 meters because, you know, watches in this era of the 1990s definitely could supersede, you know, 200 meters, especially with sapphire crystal. So it's kind of a conservative depth rating, but it met the French Navy requirements. These watches were issued both on like a Jubilee style Auricoste strap and obviously a NATO strap. I think it just depended on its issuance and who was wearing it and all that kind of stuff, but you can see and find them on a Jubilee style bracelet that has a nice end piece that fits into this kind of chunky case nicely, and also with a you know, a NATO strap. Matte black dial, tritium luminous material, and kind of, again, more of a standard layout for just a dive watch. It's reminiscent of a Rolex Submariner. Date complication at the 3 o'clock and also hacking. The squale style case is really nice because it has the crown that is essentially offset at the 4 o'clock position, which makes it nice because, you know, when it's on the wrist, you don't have that crown basically digging into your wrist, and it's a much more kind of compact and, I guess, streamlined case design. So I really like that the crown is offset. On wrist, the watch doesn't wear oversized. It's 41 millimeters, but I think that it kind of works because you have the crown that's offset. These watches aren't super easy to find, but they do pop up. Like I said, from all the Marine Nationale issued dive watches with the Tudors, and those watches being a little bit more desirable because of the Rolex, you know, tie-in and that kind of stuff. These are a little bit more accessible and a little bit, you know, they're priced a little bit more economical. If we take off the strap, we've got basically the year of issuance, which is 95, and this is the 54th unit issued. And then we've got, you know, the reference number and stuff like that here. My guess would be that this one did not come on a bracelet because I don't see any bite marks from where a bracelet would attach. So, you know, this one was most likely issued on a NATO strap. But overall, really cool and accessible MN dive watch. I think that these are definitely going to increase in value. I've seen the prices jump a little bit on these, but I think that they're still a little bit sleepy. And like I said, there's an abundance of information on these. If you haven't done so already, you know, find Watch History on IG. It's watch and then HISTRY. He's got some really cool MN stuff and has put this amazing book together. So if you're into, you know, military divers, this is definitely a must-have. It's a good book to have in the collection, and he's done a great job of you know, really archiving and putting all this together. So really cool book. If you haven't checked this out, be sure to do that. I will provide a link, of course, in the description below to check this guy out, above somewhere. Definitely a really interesting and cool watch. As always, guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not doing so already, follow us on Instagram. And if you've got watch questions, we're definitely here to help. Drop us a line at info@craftandtailor.com. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I will see you in the next one.